Hey YouTube, it's your girl Stacie back again with another video, and today we are going to be making Escovitch. Now, I've been working on this film, hence the delay in videos, and I've had the pleasure to make some Escovitch snapper for some of my co-workers. So at this point I would pause the video just so you can see what it is that you will need to recreate this exactly like how I make it. So if you're looking for the same flavor profiles on how I make my Escovitch, here are the ingredients: some onions, peppers, carrots, and Scotch bonnet, as well as some vinegar, brown sugar, pimento seeds, thyme, and salt and pepper. Also going to be using some water, which is coming directly from my Brita. So you're not going to see it pictured here, but you will be seeing me pouring it in. Okay guys, let's get this started. So I have a saucepan that I've preheated at medium heat, and I'm going to go ahead and add 2 cups of vinegar, 2 cups of water. I'm also going to add half a cup of brown sugar, a couple of pimento seeds, and the thyme with the salt and pepper to this preheated pan. And I'm gonna just let it sit for about maybe 5 minutes. Because I preheated it, the pan was already hot enough for me to begin with adding the ingredients and also begin with heating up fairly quickly. You do not, I repeat, you do not want to bring this to a boil. Keep it at a low to medium heat, enough to where it's actually hot enough for you to simmer down these vegetables. So once you've added all of your ingredients to your pan, you're going to add your first ingredient, vegetable ingredient, or pimentos, what do you call it? Scotch bonnet is a veggie, no? Anyhow, you're gonna add the peppers. Now I went ahead and added 2 peppers. You do not need to add 2, but I like it to have a nice undertone of the heat. Something about the balance between the vinegar and the sugar and the pepper. Oh God, man, let me tell you, it's just good. But like I said, you don't have to use brown sugar. You can use white, and you don't have to add as many peppers. But you definitely need to add you some thyme into that mix. Now, most people make this with fresh thyme. That's fine. I didn't have any, so I went ahead and used dried thyme. I'm going ahead now and adding my salt and pepper, to which you will be adding to taste as you continue to make this dish. I like to compare this to making pickled onions, except you're adding the thyme and the peppers and pimento seeds. So you want a nice balance. You want to really balance out the sour, the sweet, and the heat. Go ahead now and mix everything up, and you're going to let that boil for about, I hesitate to say the word boil, but you're gonna let that heat up for about 5 minutes. Then you're gonna start with the carrots. We start with the carrots because the carrots do take a little bit longer to soften up, and you don't want them too soft. You still want it to have a nice little crunch to it when you're eating it. So I start with it and let that simmer for about 5 minutes before adding the other ingredients, vegetables, to this dish. So after about 5 minutes, this is how it should look. And your pan, should be giving off some type of steam. After tasting it, I realized that it was a little bit too sour. So I went ahead and added some water. I did add some sugar to it. That's me mimicking myself, adding the sugar, because my crazy self added that before hitting record, or at least I thought I hit record, which is something that I tend to do when making videos. I think I'm recording, but I'm not. And this is in every situation. So you go ahead and you add your peppers now. I love how this is coming together. And I'm also going to add some more of the vinegar, because again, I'm making sure to keep an even balance of the sweet, the heat, and the sour. So you're just gonna mix that up, and you're gonna let that simmer down for about 5 minutes before turning it off and adding the onions. So let that simmer down. I'm gonna go ahead and taste again. Always tasting. Like, it's just, that's why I'm not always inclined to eat after I make any dish, because I do so much tasting. All right, let's get back into this. So we're gonna go ahead and add some salt. Basically what I'm doing is I'm balancing the flavors, okay? So you'll know as you're tasting what it will need in order to keep that ratio of the sweet, heat, and sour, to make sure that none of the ingredients are not, let me just say, you don't want one ingredient overpowering the other. You want it all to just marry together so well. That's what I want to say. So now, after letting this simmer for about 7 minutes, now, first we did the 5 and another 2 minutes more, I'm gonna taste it again before I add the onions. Everything's good. All right, so we turn the heat off and we're going to now add our onions. Yes, I turned the heat off because that water is I don't want to say water, that flavorful Escovitch juice is well seasoned and ready. And I like to add the onions last because I like a really good crunch on it. So I'm just gonna make sure to toss it all up so that it can get covered and married in with all the flavors, with the flavor of the pepper, the flavor of the vinegar, with the flavor of the pimento seeds, the thyme. Oh God, I'm just like salivating at this point because I make this so much. I know it's tasting right. I know it's gonna be good. And the smell, like, how it smells when you make this. It just takes you to a place, a place that is hot, that involves a beach, it involves a nice cold drink in your hand and a fried fish. And this is me adding a little bit more onions because, you know, I had a few extras chopped up that I was going to use for another dish that I'm making. And I was like, you know what? Why not add a little bit more? That's because I like onions. And this is it. Oh my gosh, it was so quick and so easy. About 20 minutes to make, if not less than that, if you don't include the chopping and the prepping. And I was so honored and so pleased to have made this for my colleagues at work and for Kelly. And I really do hope that y'all get to make this and enjoy it. And here it is. You're just gonna leave that and let it sit.
Ooh, ooh, are you kidding me?
I got flour because I made roti.
You made roti?
Yeah.
Oh my God, y'all see this food she made?
There you go.
Wow, that's all mine?
Video. You gonna eat well? You happy, Sean?
How they doing?
This is what life is all about. I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to cook for these lovely colleagues of mine. Thank you to my viewers, my day ones, to my new subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. Remember, God is good all the time, and all the time, God is so good.